Welcome to the Snowman tutorial. I'm Melissa Naderick from Sentimental Salvage and Design, and today we are going to be creating cute little plush snowmen out of a whole bunch of salvaged materials. So let's get started. So in your kit you will have these three pieces. You will have some, this is butcher's twine. It works really well, it's strong. So this is what we use. You will have two cute little wire arms with these adorable little hands. They're so cute. And you will have these random little bits and bobs to decorate your little snowman after. A little pom-pom or some little wooden beads for his hat. This little orange Christmas light comes in really handy as a nose. You'll also have another piece of sweater, which you will use for his little hat, and a matching scarf. Okay, so let's get going on this. Okay, so just like the sweater pumpkins, the first thing we do is we flip this inside out. You want to flip it inside out and do your classic running stitch along I'm about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch depending on the knit, how loose the knit is of the sweater. The looser the knit, the farther away. So it's just a simple running stitch on that edge. I just realized as I started this that I did not dig out my stuffing. So I'm gonna have to go get that. Okay, so that's quick. Had to go find my scissors. So we've got that end done. And you're just gonna pull that tight, those loose ends, and we're going to tie this in a knot. Let's do a 1/3 just to be safe. Cut that off, and with your glue gun, I just put a tiny little dab of glue there, just as a safety. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the same thing on the top. Just your classic running stitch. These little snowmen are really cute little additions to your Christmas decor for sure. And you can customize them and decorate them any way you want. Once you learn how to make them, your possibilities are endless. All right. So with this guy, now we turn him inside out because this is the head. This is the small one, so this is his head. And I just used the polyester fill stuffing. We've got a giant bag here. I just get it at Walmart. And we're gonna stuff that in there. And you want it to be fairly full. You don't want his head to be kind of baggy and shriveled looking. And once you have that full, tie that tight. And just a tiny little dab of glue. Okay, and there's this cute little head. We'll put that aside and we will work on now his torso. Same thing, flip it inside out. And off you go with your running stitch again. All right, got a little bit too much excess there. Same thing, we're going to pull this tight, tie a few knots. And a little dab of glue. I need some. While that's setting, we'll do the other side. I really like this style of needle. I get them at Walmart because they have this, I'll just show you. They have this, there's the needle part, but then they have this flexible little bit for your yarn to go through. And I find it works. I like these ones a lot better than the other ones. They're sometimes hard to find, but I do get them at Walmart. They come in a package of 3. This is the smallest size that I'm using right now. They're metal, they're not plastic either, which I kind of like better too. All right. And we'll turn him inside out and we'll fill him up now. So this guy's a little bit different when you're filling. Okay, so you're gonna fill him up about halfway. It looks full, but it's really, there's not a lot in here. And this is where the little arms come in. And a pair of pliers comes in handy. So these little arms are kind of three fingers and a thumb. So I'm going to say this is thumb on both hands. So basically you want, I've got the seam here is going to be the back, and I want the little arms to go in on each side. So about not quite halfway down. You want to go about a third of the way down, and you want to try to get both wires to kind of poke through. There we go. There's one, and then you're going to kind of eyeball. I go a little bit forward from the halfway point, just a tiny bit forward, and about a third of the way from this top edge. There's no real right or wrong way here. You're just gonna wanna get them preferably as level as you can, but it's not a big deal. They're wire, you can kind of bend them about. So then, see, now I've got both arms in here. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these free ends here, and I'm just going to kind of twist it together a little bit, like so. So I've got kind of two arms here, and now I don't want these pokey wire bits. So this is where the pliers come in, and all I do is take them and I just kind of curl them up so that those ends don't poke out. They're a little more safe, curled up inside. There we go. Okay, so it looks kind of like a mess sitting here. But then what you're going to do is just kind of shove that in there and continue on with your stuffing. A little bit more. All right, see how he's got his little arms sticking out there. Then we're going to tie this closed. Make sure all the stuffing's in there. See how his little arms are out? He's got these cute little arms. Same deal here. We'll just cut and a little dab of glue. You just need a tiny dab, don't put too much. All right, so now we've got his head and his little torso ball made. So put that aside and we'll work on the last one, which is the bottom. Same idea, flip it inside out. And do that running stitch all the way around. I'm going about probably 1/4 to 1/2 inch between stitches. Again, depending on the knit, on the tightness of the knit of the sweater you're using. Oops. Pull that tight. Tie it in a knot. And a little dab of glue. One more time on this end. Okay, now flip this guy back right side out. So I have these are white kidney beans. And I'm just going to grab a couple handfuls. One good big handful and another little handful. There we go. That just gives them some stability and some weight. That feels better. And the reason why we use white kidney beans is because now you don't want to see them through the white sweater. If you use dark colored beans, you're going to see them. And it's always going to look like the bottom of your snowman is kind of dirty. We don't want that. Okay. Let's tie this off. Perfect. So now we have the base. We have I call it the torso ball with the little arms and the head. And they're going to vary in size depending on the sleeve that you got with your kit or the sleeve that you're using from your own sweater stash. So now what we're going to do is we are going to take these strings from the long one, and I want to give him just a little squish this way so that he stands a little bit better. I'm going to try to make sure he's good and centered. And then what I do is I put the needle straight down through and right out the bottom. Just kind of on one side of the knot here. And then the same thing with this one. So it's helpful when you have a decent long tail left over here. But if you don't, that's okay. You can always just start fresh with a new string. Okay, so see how when I pull this, it automatically kind of squishes them a little bit. I'll try to put this on its side so you guys can see. See how it kind of flattens them a little bit? That's gonna make him sit better. He won't be so roly-poly. He'll just kind of sit better. So now with these two through like this, I'm just going to tie that knot and pull just until it squishes. I don't want to pull it too tight. You're basically just giving it a little bit more of a flat so it sits better. See, it's way more sturdy now than, say, even this little one. This is the head. And you want this one round, obviously, but when this one was like that, it would have just made him really teetery. So making him a little bit of a fatter butt helps. Okay, so I'm pretty sure I tied that twice, but I'm gonna give it one more. And then snip it. And a teeny dab of glue on that knot. Just a little dab. You don't want a big glob of glue on the bottom. So we're just gonna let that cool for a bit. And then we're going to sew them all together. There we go. Okay. So I like to look for the seam. There's usually a seam. There it is. Some sweaters it's easy to see, some not so much, so you don't have to worry about it too much. It's also what I look for when putting the arms in, is this back seam. And then I just want to I want to line those two seams up. So now with this one, what I'm going to do is grab some more of my butcher's twine and my needle. And what we're going to do with this one is we're going to go in the bottom and out the top, just off center. And then in the top on the other side of center and out the bottom. You can get it through there where you want it. There we go. Careful not to get his little arms all tangled up. Okay, so now I've got this butcher's twine coming through. You can see how it squishes them down a little bit here too. So it's kind of the same idea, except we don't need this much, so I'm gonna pull this a little bit to give us a little bit less. And now we're gonna go through we're going to attach him to the base. This is a good sweater. It's hard to, oh, there it is. And there it is. It doesn't have to be perfect. I just like it in the back. And then we are going to, I'm going to try to do this so that you guys can see. I'm going to go on the same side of center on the base and through out the bottom here. Okay. And now with this other one, I'm going to do the same kind of idea. I'm going to do the same thing here and come out the bottom again. There we go. Okay, so now you see you've got your little torso ball on top of the base. And I don't want to squish the torso ball too much, but I do want to squish it a little bit. So I've got my two ends here, and same deal. I'm just going to tie a knot and just pull. See how it just squished them a little bit? Tie a good knot. Clip it off. And another little dab of glue. Oh, he's looking so cute. His little arms. Okay, you're just gonna let that glue set a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now, his little head. So same idea, you want that center line centered on his little head. So with this one, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna go in through the top of his head, but then I'm gonna push my way down. I think I'm gonna try to go all the way to the bottom. So it's kind of like through one, you're gonna come through his head, through the torso, and then through the base. But you're not going to pull this really tight. This is just to secure. So thread your needle again and stick it right down, a little bit off center, actually, through the top of his little head. And you can go a little bit, like here's center. I'm gonna go a little bit, about 3/4 of an inch off, just to give him a little bit more stability. Okay, so I'm through his head, and now I'm going to place his head where I want it. And I'm going to go through the little torso one. Sorry, I think my head is getting in the way of my camera here. Through that one and through the bottom. And when I bring it in through the bottom, I'm coming in pretty close to center again, because I don't want there to be a big obvious knot down there. Loose bitties all over here. Okay, same thing. Do I still have everything lined up here? There we go. On the other side of the top of his head, straight through. See, it's coming through his little head, and I want to go right down through his little body. And then through the base. There we go. Okay, and now this one, I don't really want to squeeze it. I'm just pulling it snug. I don't want to pull this too hard because I don't want to squish his head. Another knot. Another little dab of glue. And there we are, he's all together. Look how cute he is. His little hands. Okay, so now, like, he's pretty secure. I mean, he's a decor piece. He's not a toy, right? So you're not gonna give him to the grandkids and let them play with him. Okay, so I'm gonna set him aside. And now we are going to work on his little hat. Okay, so here's his little scarf. Now these little hats are just cut out of chunks of sweater. So, same idea with these. This is like the wrong side, and then there's the right side. So it doesn't really matter, whichever is your preference that you want showing up on the outside. And you can sew this if you prefer. In this case, we're just gonna hot glue and get it together here. So what I do is I just lay it right sides together. And then we're just gonna use little bits of glue. Once you don't burn yourself, tap that down. I'm going pretty close to the edge here. Hot glue works pretty good for this. There we go. Much faster than sewing. Okay. Glue sticking to my... And then we just kind of let that sit for a bit. I don't want to pull it too quick. So while that's setting, we can put on his little nose. So I like to put the nose on first because it gives me an idea of where I want to put his eyes. So these are little Christmas lights, and all I do is there's the little bitty wires. See the little wires sticking out? I just pull them so that they're straight down like that, and then take this little plastic thing and pull it off. You don't need this. This is garbage. And then I just twist these little two wires together. And then we're gonna stick this on as his little nose. And all I do, just kind of judge where do I want to put his little nose. Kind of halfway down his head. The nice, smoother you have that end, the easier it's gonna be. And with this, I just put glue on that wire. Not too much, because then you just end up with this big glob. And just try to make sure you might have to turn and push to get it in there. And we're just gonna, I'm really just shoving it in and holding it until it cures. Or dries, I guess. There you go. Cute little nose. So adorable. Now he needs little eyes. So in your little kit, you have 2 little black button eyes. So these are for his eyes. Now the hardest part about this is picking exactly where you want to put them. Let's use this. There we go. That's better. Okay, so I want his little eyes fairly close to his nose, but not like super, super close. So that looks kind of cute to me. So I'm just kind of trying to visually remember where that is. And then putting a little bit of glue on the back of the button. And then pushing his little eye into his head. I kind of push it in there, hoping that it's going to set good and close into his head so it's not like floating out on this little stem on the back. 'Cause then he just looks like he's got these creepy sticky out eyes. Sticky out eyes. It's a technical, crafty term. So I put a decent little ball of glue on there. And then now you want to make sure that the eyes are hopefully lined up properly. Look at that little face. I think one eye's a little bit closer to his nose than the other. Oh well. Gives them character. Okay, you just sit there for a sec and let's work on your little hat. Now, depending on your sweater, your hat might be a little bit big or it shouldn't be too small. I'm just gonna pull this little end out as much as I can. Now he's got this cute little hat, and I want to put the seam in the back. So I'm just going to kind of fit it on him here, see how it goes. Another reason why you don't want to put his, look at how cute he is, guys. Kind of tuck his little, trying to make this fit. So his little hat is tucked in a little bit under the back of his head. And then just fold his little toque over. Look at him. And then I have his, so you can either choose to put the little pom-pom, or I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these little beads, just because he's kind of earthy toned. I'm just grabbing a little bit of jute here. Let's see if I can get these teeny weeny beads. My fingers don't want to hold on to it. Sometimes a little trick to get a yarn or jute through a tiny little bead is to put a little bit of hot glue on the end and kind of rub a little point into it with your finger. Sometimes that helps. This bead has no holes in it. What in the world? There, that'll look cute on the end of his little hat. So I'm just gonna tie a knot. I've got that tiny, tiny little bead on the end here, so this knot is going to hold that for sure. Cut that. And then I'm going to twist this the wrong way, opposite of the way it's twisted on itself, just to open it up a little bit and fray it out so it gives a little, just gives you a little fuzzy end like that. So now I'm going to take his little hat off so I can stitch this through. The end of his little hat. I'm just going to pull that pretty tight here. And then just kind of secure this. All right, cut that. Another little dab of glue for security. And we'll let that set. So all of these little decoration bits, you can customize and do whatever it is you like. This little eye, I don't know if you can see, but this one's like right up in there. This one's kind of perched out a little bit. So I'm just gonna put a tiny little dab of glue right in behind here and push it in so it sits better. There, that's better. Maybe we'll fold up his little hat a little bit. Give him a little bit of a and look how cute. His little beads on his hat. And now his little scarf. He looks kind of like Gru off of Despicable Me. Wait till you see his posture. There, tie his little scarf. And there he is. Look how cute he is. So adorable. Okay, let's change your... Totally looks like Gru, guys. All right, look at him. He's so cute. His little beads, but check out that little posture. He's got the little Gru hump. He's cute. I hope this tutorial helps and you can either create your little snowman from the kit that you bought from sentimentalsalvage.ca, or you can create your own right from scratch. Thanks you guys for watching. I hope you had a good time.